Modern day jewelry heists. Who knew that was going to be a thing on the 2025 bingo card?
In broad daylight.
In broad daylight, yeah.
And at the most renowned gallery in Paris, the Louvre. This sounds very realistic to the games I play with my teammates. Yeah. Like, did you drop the bag, dude?
Someone's not paying attention. Someone's off on another part of the map.
From DogHouseSystems.com, this is the DogHouse Podcast.
It is Friday, November 7th, and I am here joined again by Abby.
What up?
And Robert.
Hello.
How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
As well as I can be.
All right, and again, I'll take the middle ground. I'm good. I'm okay. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of news for you all. A little bit of industry news, some AI news, some gaming news, and just some news that makes you wonder what is going on. To start things off, the Epic and Google lawsuit might be coming to an end a little earlier than everyone expected.
Whoa, what is this lawsuit?
So Epic, as with, I believe they had a similar case with Apple centered around in-app purchases and payments.
Oh.
And the dispute of if they could charge customers directly or if they need to provide a cut.
I remember seeing that.
So the Google and Epic have proposed a settlement instead of actually finishing out the trial. And in separate statements along the same lines, at the end of the day, Google promises to, hasn't happened yet, allow third-party app stores to be installed as apps from its Google Play App Store. Mm-hmm. This comes along with changes to its payment structure. So instead of being a flat 30% on all transactions done through the Play Store or using Google Pay for payment services, it'll range from 9 to 20%. Depending on a bunch of different rules such as when the app was installed, what type of transaction it is, if the item being purchased in-game provides a meaningful gameplay benefit to the player. So very specific cases for how much they get and also how the customer pays. If they use Google Pay, Google gets a different cut down to even 5% at the very lowest versus if they use a third-party payment system, there's a different fee structure for that. So on the whole, opening up alternative app stores on Android is really nice so that people are able to not have to go and download a sketchy APK from a website and root their phone. In an ideal world, you can install the Apple App Store or the Amazon App Store.
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens.
Hey, if PlayStation and Xbox start sharing games, maybe that can mean the future for all mobile.
Yeah, if Halo is on PlayStation and all of these PlayStation games are coming to PC and Xbox, anything can happen. You're right, Robert. Yeah, we can hope.
The world is their oyster. In other settlement news, Amazon has been ordered by the Federal Trade Commission to pay out $1.5 billion in refunds to an estimated 35 million customers. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. That is.
It's so much money. So if you don't want to do the math for that, the refund for an equal amount for every single one of these customers, the refund would come out to $42.86. In the lawsuit the FTC took against Amazon, they say that the big ol' shopping giant used deceptive practices to basically herd customers into signing up for Prime without them knowing, which is super important. And then made it even harder for them to cancel Prime once they figured out that they were paying for Prime.
Yeah, and I've tried to cancel Prime before, and it truly was confusing just trying to find the managed subscription option.
Yeah, there's a page called subscriptions, but I don't think last I checked, this was maybe 2 years ago, I don't think your Prime subscription was on there. I think it was subscriptions like if you subscribe to, for example, BritBox through their video service, or if you have any like subscription deliveries like dog food or, things by something like that. Yeah.
So in the article that I'm referencing that was published September 25th, they say that the settlement came out 3 days into the trial Amazon was facing in Seattle. If they had not come to the settlement, the jury could have basically picked a number, an even higher number and more damages, and determined basically what is considered fair to these people. I guess also in the trial, it was released that in 2024, Amazon facilitated $638 billion in sales, resulting in $59.2 billion overall.
For consumers, this is a win. Amazon gets a slap on the wrist, told you need to refund people.
You need to change your practice in how you get people to join Prime and how they can stop using Prime.
Right.
So those numbers that I spit out probably wouldn't have waived the jury's sympathy. They would have said, okay, and still given whatever they found fair. So Amazon has agreed to go ahead and start making these changes to the processes. According to the FTC, they agreed to, and I will quote it, a clear and conspicuous button for customers to decline Prime. And they can no longer have a button that says, no, I don't want free shipping, end quote.
Yeah, that sort of, I guess, dark pattern is pretty brutal when you're trying to cancel. It says, wait, you're leaving behind all of your benefits. The mind game of, no, I don't want to pay for shipping, so I guess I'll keep it.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't want to pay monthly for a service I might use, once every other month, especially if you don't use Amazon very frequently.
Yeah. So the refunds, if you were impacted by this, the refunds will automatically come back to you. And once all of that has happened, if they do have any money left in the refund allocation group, you can apply to get another refund, but there are requirements that you do need to have.
I think the first automatic round was if you, within the time frame, didn't use more than 3 Prime benefits.
It was between June of 2019 to June of 2025.
Wow.
If you didn't use 3 or less, you automatically benefited from it. Once that's done, if they still have money left, then you can go in and apply. If you've used less than
I think it was
10 benefits
10,
in a 12-month period. So they also agreed for third-party monitoring for all of their stuff and the refund distribution. So Amazon will not be handling the refund directly.
Okay.
And I believe they will probably have a third-party monitor their compliance in the FTC's.
That's nice. Yeah.
In the agreement they made with the FTC.
To make sure it actually is carried out.
Yes.
Okay. Modern day jewelry heists. Who knew that was going to be a thing on the 2025 bingo card?
In broad daylight.
In broad daylight, yeah.
And at the most renowned gallery in Paris, the Louvre. Post-heist reports revealed that the password for the Louvre's security was Louvre.
Very high tech.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Very secure.
I feel like that's like probably as bad as your password being 12345.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or password.
Yeah.
Players for games are now apologizing to game developers for the simple passwords that they put onto the security in their games.
Or seeing it like if it tells you find the password for this computer and it's on a sticky note, a lot more realistic than we realize. Yes.
Hey, if you ever enter a building in a heist game, just try the name of the building for the security. It's that simple.
Yeah, a 2015 audit of the security system showed that some of the systems running security and other software dated back to 2003, running Windows Server 2003 in the year 2025.
That feels like they need to update.
How long has that been out of support for?
Maybe a decade.
A very long time, yes. Yeah, even with extended, I don't think Microsoft is pushing any patches for a random PC running Server 2003.
Yeah, I think they stopped them pretty much a long time ago.
I'm fairly confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna know my favorite part about this is they managed to steal the crown jewels, $102 million worth, and they fumbled. Yeah. They dropped one of the crowns.
And then failed to set their, they call it a lift, their mechanized ladder on fire before getting away. Yeah. It's like these were not sophisticated criminals by all, accounts.
No, this sounds very realistic to the games I play with my teammates. Yeah. Like, did you drop the bag, dude?
Someone's not paying attention. Someone's off on another part of the map, In
the PC Gamer article, the author writes, how exactly then did the most renowned gallery in France find itself pillaged by a cadre of buffoons in high visibility vests?
Yeah. Yeah, it boggles the mind.
Well, it takes a buffoon to get robbed by a buffoon. We're running Windows Server 2003. I'm not sure if you need the most highly sophisticated criminals in the world to get this.
That feels mean.
That feels a little mean, but
hey, the article started it.
They should probably upgrade their systems.
They really should.
Yeah. Hey, good news. If you have ever tried to install Windows updates and hit the update and restart button or update and shutdown button instead of shutting down and your computer just restarted and came back up to the login prompt, that's been fixed.
Oh, perfect.
Run Windows Update and update and shut down, and it should shut down after it updates.
We were
It's
just
pretty
talking
nice.
about this
Yeah.
like a month ago, and it happened to me all the time. I want to shut down and put it in my bag and, expect it to be shut down when I open it back up, and I find out that my PC is running hot inside my bag because it didn't actually shut down. It just restarted after updating.
Yeah, that'll happen with my work laptop as well. I'll, unplug the power adapter, tell it to update and shut down, and I come back in the morning and it's dead because it rebooted, came back, and just ran out of battery overnight. And
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, laptop.
Speaking of Windows, apparently people have been getting false end of support warnings.
As if the Windows 10 apocalypse wasn't bad enough. Now, even after you think you're safe, apparently you're not.
So Windows 10 recently reached end of life last month. As everybody knows, we've been talking almost every month to let you know to either update or get that extended security updates that Microsoft offers. If you are running Windows 10 version 22H2 Pro, Education, or Enterprise, and you have the right product key when you sign up for these updates, you're good. Same goes for Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC 2021 and IoT Enterprise LTSC 2021. But the issue is that people that have these updates are saying that they've been getting notifications that are like, your version has reached end of support. And if you're paying maybe a small amount of money, I'm not exactly certain how much these updates are, you would also be rightfully a little mad. Turns out that it's just a bug on Microsoft's end. So they have released a configuration to address the problem, but your computer may not actually receive it automatically if there is no internet, has one settings disabled through group policy, has restrictive firewalls, or blocks dynamic updates.
Yeah. So if you're not part of a domain, you'd need to use the known issues rollback feature. If you are part of a domain, your domain administrator will need to apply that through group policy. So it's an easy fix, but a fairly annoying one, especially if an organization has, on the whole, purchased extended support for their fleet of systems and everyone might not be in the same location to easily, receive that group policy updates.
You know what Windows problem would make you really mad? Booting it up and finding out that you're in BitLocker recovery mode.
That would be pretty bad.
That would suck.
And that is a issue some users using Windows 11, 25H2, 24H2, as well as Windows 10 are experiencing right now. Just upon booting up or restarting their system, they're prompted to enter the BitLocker recovery key, which is automatically done upon installing Windows. You automatically have your drive encrypted. So this can happen to anybody who hasn't disabled that.
Yeah, even if you haven't enabled BitLocker, new installs of Windows 11, we found automatically encrypt your drive, but don't give you the key until you sign in with the Microsoft account. So we here turn it off, thankfully. But if you received a new PC and you haven't signed in with the Microsoft account, or if you recently reinstalled Windows for any reason, haven't signed in, you don't have a key. So good luck. If you do have your key, then you can download it from your Microsoft account, or if you have an even older additional Windows that's been upgraded, when you enabled BitLocker or device encryption, it would have asked you to save the file to a USB drive as well. So it is recoverable if you have your key. If not, there is a mechanism for Windows like we saw with, what was that? The issue where a software company pushed an update and that broke Windows. Was that last year? I'm forgetting the name of the software vendor, but it was all over the internet. Lots of organizations suffered. But Microsoft may be able to push a Windows update as long as your system is on through connected standby. So leave it on for a bit, try and reboot, see if the issue goes away. If not, try and find your recovery key. If you have a smart TV or an internet connected TV, got a little bit of not really new, but not great news for you. Your TV's HDMI port or your TV itself might be spying on you. And no, it's not through a camera. It's not through the microphone. It is possibly, if you've turned on the feature or agreed to the EULA, using something called automatic content recognition, or ACR, to digitally fingerprint snapshots of what's being displayed, send it back to whoever's collecting the data, be it Roku, Google, Amazon, any other, third-party ad provider of your set-top box or the app, and using that to build a profile and then sell that marketing data to companies to personalized ads for you.
If we had a video component to this podcast, I just hope you all can just... Lorenzo is laughing because I'm staring at him like I cannot believe that this is an actual article that we are covering.
This article comes to us from Lon Seidman of Lon.tv. He also has a YouTube channel. So if you want to read the article, go read it. If not, there's a YouTube channel embedded or a YouTube video embedded. I saw this pop up on my feed and I thought, okay, but how? And I watched the video and I read the accompanying article. My jaw hit the floor. I was like, what do you mean my TV playing even? And the thing he goes into is even media that you're watching that's not through a streaming app can have this happen to it. So if you're watching like a home video, or if you just put in a DVD or Blu-ray into a player and play it on the TV's HDMI ports themselves can have this content recognition applied to them. The only solution he's proposed is don't use any of the smart features, disconnect your TV itself from the internet and plug in a set-top box that does, handles all the apps on that device. But then that device may have ACR as well.
Yeah.
It's an interesting read.
He was reading it and he mentions that when he tried to opt out of the monitoring, it refused to let him use any of the features.
Yeah, so his smart TV effectively just became a display with speakers built in, so no apps.
Wow.
So he could plug something else in and have that, power through, provide an interface through HDMI, but none of the TV's features work.
So it's either let me see everything you're watching and collect the data on you, or you basically just lose out on having a smart TV. You have a TV.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you can't really buy just a TV anymore.
No, they're all kind of smart.
So that's a little bit of, it's interesting. So I did double check at home. We're not using our TV's smart interface because it's a few years old and it was getting kind of sluggish. So we actually replaced it with an Apple TV, which has been great.
Love our Apple TV.
I really hope Apple isn't selling. I don't know that they are. I didn't have to agree to a deal. I just turned it on, signed in. There was no like, hey, agree to all of these terms. But yeah, who knows?
I mean, I believe that you sign the agreement with...
Like on account creation, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that you sign a user agreement.
Right.
With them.
Yeah, I'm sure every media company has some sort of this, but just I don't want my TV spying on all my inputs. I want to know that one device I'm using for input is the one spying on me, if that makes sense. If I know where the spying is coming from explicitly, then it helps me feel a little better. But yeah. Yeah, and in the article he goes over Roku is a very interesting case because their whole model is to sell and place advertising. So as far as I know, Roku doesn't create content, but they provide Roku-enabled TVs and set-top boxes, and they've actually been very profitable from that business. So,
on a little more fun note, Lorenzo, you might actually be really excited about this one.
Yeah.
Steam has added a screen-off download feature to their deck. So this allows gamers to download games without it eating up your battery.
Right.
So if there's like this super download heavy game that you want to play off of Steam, you can basically download it, plug your deck in for the night, and go to sleep. Yeah. And it'll be there in the morning.
If you're not sure how far along it is on download, it'll actually recognize gyro input. So if you pick up your Steam Deck, it will recognize that as input and give you like a very lightweight interface that tells you how far along the download is. So if it's not done yet, you can just put it right back down and continue on your day till it's done.
Or you can pick it up, switch it to the console, and play the game.
Yeah, no, it seems really cool. I wish my other handhelds had this feature. Phones have it. The Switch has it. But yeah, nothing else. Yeah.
There is a caveat. They do say that if you activate the feature while you're in battery mode and your battery falls to under 20%, the download will pause and go to full sleep mode to conserve its power.
That's fair.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I'll take it.
It's almost like the low power mode on an iPhone.
Yeah, where it'll restrict some features, but still try and make sure you have battery to communicate if you need to. Yeah, absolutely.
It's been so long, and finally, Fallout 4's busted VAT system is getting fixed. Have you ever aimed at an enemy in Fallout using the VAT? It said you had a 90% chance of blowing their head off, and you trigger that 5 times, and boom, 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 you just missed 5 shots.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the VATS system is a quick time auto aim feature in Fallout. So you can activate that system, and instead of being a first person or third person shooter, the game will let you click on where you want to shoot and it'll give you percentage chance to hit. So Robert's clicking on heads. So if he clicks on that 5 times and it says 90% chance, each shot should have a 90% chance to hit.
Yes.
Very frequently, they'll just all miss.
That feels like a lie.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I'd get so angry at the VATS system.
These developers admit it. The VAT system has been lying to us this entire time. And sometimes the value was actually supposed to be a 0% chance of getting hit, but it would display the incorrect value. Sometimes, you can excuse it. Maybe a wall gets in the way in the middle of the animation, but other times you might as well have just aimed and shot yourself.
Another interesting part of this was it wasn't even consistently wrong on different platforms.
Really?
So it would be a different percent wrong on Xbox versus PlayStation versus PC. They don't give exact numbers, but they acknowledge that it's just a one or two line update in their notes for the updated release. And I said, yeah, it wasn't consistent anywhere.
So we need to do a study on this and figure out which console got preferability right now.
So we need to go and buy a bunch of
Preferential
retro
treatment? Yes.
consoles. Yeah.
Buy them all.
Right.
See which one's got the real 90%.
That's a lot of clicking, Robert. Okay. In other good gaming news, AMD or Radeon Technologies Group has said that it's not pulling driver support for quote unquote older cards, older Radeon GPUs after all. This was a whole mess and it happened very quickly. So AMD released an update that said we will no longer be mainlining feature and game support driver updates for RDNA 1 and 2 GPUs. At DogHouse Systems, we don't really use AMD GPUs, but now those are older. They're a couple generations old. So at first glance, you might think, oh, that's reasonable. However, the just released Xbox ROG Ally Non-X uses an RDNA 2 GPU.
Oh, no.
Which would mean your brand new handheld that you can't even currently have delivered yet is already end of life for its graphics support.
That is unfortunate.
And that's not the only device, but that's the most recent device to be released with the chip that would be affected by this. Those GPUs were going to be put on a maintenance track driver update, which means just minor bug and security fixes. Meaning if a new game came out, no optimization, no added feature support, even if the GPUs can support that feature. The internet, as it usually does, said, hang on a minute. That's not okay. Yep. And AMD has rolled that back. So now there will be 2 separate driver release paths, but both of them will get new feature support if possible and also game optimizations. Good job, internet.
Yes, save the day for Xbox.
Yeah. Good job, AMD, for realizing the mistake.
I feel like we talk about this one like every month or so.
This one's pretty important. I feel like
this one is super important. So a Japanese patent office rejects Nintendo's key patent application in their lawsuit against Pocket Pair. If you don't remember, I'll give you a little refresher. Pocket Pair created the game Pow World. When it came out, a lot of people realized that a lot of the game mechanics, a lot of the design, and a lot of the items within Pow World were basically looking like Pokemon.
Say like heavily Pokemon inspired.
Heavily Pokemon inspired. And Nintendo said, you can't do that. So they were like, we're going to file a patent suit against you. So one of the key aspects in the patents Nintendo owns is still in the application stage. And one of the patents that sits between 2 other of their patents has been rejected as unoriginal in the eyes of the Japanese patent office. So the key patent in the monster capture family sits between 2 patents, is currently being assessed by Tokyo's district court, has been cited as having a lack of inventive step. They reference games such as Monster Hunters 4, Craftopia, and Pokemon Go itself. So they are deeming that unoriginal. The article does have a visual representation on how related these patents are to each other. So you can go take a look and see just how similar these are.
Yeah, so looking at the flowchart, it would seem to reason that if this patent is invalidated, the one that is based on this would also be invalidated as well. So that would be 2 of the 6 patents that Nintendo has applied for in relation to this, monster summoning, battling, capturing mechanic.
So I wonder, do they have any patents that have been deemed as original yet?
Believe they may have a couple.
Yeah, and I mean, in particular to this case, because
Yeah, so the other four, if you're looking at the flowchart, not on that right path, those have not been disputed, at least as of the time of reporting this article.
okay, so those can potentially be granted,
Right. Yeah, and that was published just Monday, November 3rd.
But those main two, it's pretty good for everyone else.
Yeah, and that'd be good in the, that this is the Japanese patent office.
Yeah.
So maybe that invalidating would be looked at by the USPTO as well, possibly.
The USPTO has been ordered to re-examine the patent after it was heavily criticized by IP lawyers.
That's good. We can't have Nintendo ending the monster creature summoning, capturing genre.
Just completely getting rid of all competition.
Yeah.
Because it's such a wide area. And I believe for patent and trademarks, you have to be specific, very niche, if you will.
And in my opinion, you shouldn't even be able to patent game mechanics at all. That sounds a little ridiculous to me.
If it's specific to your game, I can understand that. But if there are games that came out before you that have the same mechanics, it's the same thing as, trademarking common phrases and all of that stuff. Like there's just no way that you will be able to enforce.
Yeah, but then I just imagine a world where Pokemon released before all those other games, and now Pokemon's the only game we ever had that ever had those systems in.
Right. Yeah. And one of the frustrating things with patents and trademarks especially is the companies that own those sort of have to legally defend those. Otherwise they risk, especially with trademarks, they risk losing the trademark if it becomes like a very common term. You have to go after anyone and everyone who uses your trademark. Otherwise it's just regular vocabulary at that point.
Yeah.
Velcro.
Yeah.
Velcro's one of them.
Velcro's.
Velcro
Instead
is
of-
an actual company, and they actually call it
Hook
some
and loop fasteners.
hook and
Yeah.
loop. But everybody calls it Velcro because it was synonymous with the company Velcro. And I believe they lost the trademark after a while because they could not contain the amount of people.
Oh, it's been used too many times by too many people. They haven't sufficiently defended it in the past. Okay.
It now becomes a generic term.
Ah.
Same with Kleenex
Or Q-tips.
or Q-tips.
My only problem overall is when you're copywriting game mechanics and then you just sit on them and it's a really good idea
Yeah.
and no one else can use it now.
Or someone makes a better game than your game
Yeah.
and releases it with the same mechanics and then has to change their game retroactively to not infringe on that. Yeah. No,
It's
patent and trademark law is interesting, to say the least.
Coca-Cola's introducing a new holiday ad where they do a little something new for them, introducing AI into their advertising. Now, if you've seen this commercial, they try to go for a little nice animals running through looking cutesy, but we all can tell those animals aren't real. They're soulless AI creatures, not designed by human, and Coke is using them.
Yeah, the ad is at first glance cute enough, fun enough, but then you start looking a little closer and it very much has the like uncanny valley AI look to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, everything's moving slow and in a telegraphed way that you can just tell. It looks very jarring.
Abby, it seems like you have a reaction to this ad.
Yeah, I just watched it because I actually haven't seen this ad
okay.
before. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's the way that these animals kind of look. They look a little too...
Beauty filter-ified.
Yeah, they
the
look
only way I
like
can think, yeah.
they look too smooth is what I was trying to go for. But they just, some of them just didn't look, there was a panda in there and I was at first, please don't laugh at me because I know this is going to be, I was like, pandas don't come from, snowy areas.
They're not supposed to be there.
They're not supposed to be there. I bet they can. The world is the panda's oyster. They can be wherever they want.
I
But
hope. Are you talking about the polar bears?
no,
There's pandas?
There's a panda in there. The dogs also they just don't look real. And I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, dogs do not act that way.
Yeah.
What I really like about it is at the beginning, it tells you down in the corner, it's a little faint, created by Real Magic AI. So they had to put that watermark in there. So even if you were like, this is such a good commercial, they did have to put the watermark in that basically was like, this is AI generated.
I find it funny how they named it Real Magic AI. Like anything
Yeah.
about AI is real.
Yeah, that is a tool that Coca-Cola actually created. Real Magic AI. Yeah, so that's the name of their tool, which they just shortened to Magic. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, it looks
Definitely.
like they were going for like a mix of how Disney's animals look and just realistic, and it's really weird switching between them. And you see like some animals look like how they would kind of look in real life, and some look like they're straight up at a cartoon or movie.
Yeah, some look a little more personified or humanized, I guess.
Yeah.
And some of them look a
expressive.
little bit more Disney-esque.
Well, in other AI news, the Content Overseas Distribution Association, CODA, of Japan, which is an anti-piracy organization representing Studio Ghibli, Bandai Namco, as well as a few other major publishers, has officially asked Sora to stop using their content for their AI model training.
Come to the point where you have to now ask for people to take down your stuff in AI generators. I thought it was assumed that you just shouldn't put anything that is trademarked or licensed in.
It should be a permission granted type of thing.
Be
Right.
you have received permission from whoever to add this in.
And I thought Sora 2 was that. I was pretty sure that you can't even do AI of people if they hadn't made an account on
Well,
Sora.
this is at the model training phase. So when they hoover up all the data to give the model all of the information it needs to then generate video or text or images. OpenAI last month stated that they were changing Sora's opt-out policy for IP holders, modifying it. But the important part there is opt-out policy, meaning we can collect anything we want unless you explicitly tell us we can't, which now CODA has explicitly said they cannot. But the data is already so deeply ingrained in the model that I don't know that they'll go back and, digitally lobotomize it to remove all of the, especially like Studio Ghibli art style that it tends to go with.
Yeah, a lot of people on AI models are really attracted to those. And I've seen it before Sora even was a thing. People love the Studio Ghibli art style, and they like to import that a lot into their models.
I think the first thing is you shouldn't be able to modify your consent thing.
Yeah.
Your permission granted, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, but I don't know if either of you have noticed this, but you still get the, hey, we've updated our terms of use policy.
Yeah, that's what I was
Almost every year from
yeah.
every major. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a seemingly, not for the better, but it's a normal thing now. But the real kicker here is that Sam Altman's profile picture on X, at least at the time of reporting, was currently a portrait in the style of Studio Ghibli.
And that's where I see it the most. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So at the same time that they're saying, oh, yeah, we'll work with you, we'll change our opt-out policy, his profile picture on X is the result of using Studio Ghibli to train the model.
And it's unfortunate that specific company is the one they target, because I'm pretty sure the director of most of their movies is really anti-AI. He's really against it.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have to see how that all shakes out. But yeah, so now they have officially requested that OpenAI respond sincerely to member copyright claims and stops using their content for machine learning without permission.
You know the funny thing about this next article? I actually got asked by someone last night about if you should take advice, specifically legal advice, from ChatGPT. Kim Kardashian, ever the popular face in the news, if you will, has made the claim that ChatGPT made her fail her law exams.
Wow. How could ChatGPT do that?
Well, let's start out with this. Kim Kardashian has gone through and done, I believe, a shortened version of law school, and she is not taking the actual California bar. I believe she's taking what they refer to it as the baby bar. I could be so wrong. Surprisingly enough, with the amount of pop culture that I know, I don't keep up with Kim Kardashian as much and like their whole family. So I actually do not know much about which bar exam she is taking.
So it looks like she has passed the quote unquote baby bar, but is still waiting for her results of the full bar exam.
Okay, so
I guess she doesn't feel like she passed it.
yes.
then. Okay.
She, in an interview, in a video, I actually believe, pardon me, she said that she's been using ChatGPT for legal advice.
Oh, man.
So she'll take a picture of the question and put it in ChatGPT, and she says they're always wrong. And they made her fail tests all the time.
And the funniest thing is the article goes on to say that instead of not using it, she'll argue with ChatGPT
She'll
about
start yelling at
why
it.
why it would give her the wrong answer, or how dare it try and, set her off of her track.
Here's a quote. But then I will talk to it and say, hey, you're going to make me fail. How does that make you feel? That you need to really know these answers I'm coming to you. And then it'll say back to me, this is just teaching you to trust your own instincts. So you knew the answer all along. End quote.
Major gaslighting from
Whoa.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is smart. They know that even when they're wrong, it's just teaching them how to be right. You know,
Right.
Trust your instinct. You're not supposed to trust me. I'm ChatGPT. I give you the wrong answers so you can do it yourself.
I say this, and these are my personal opinions. In no way am I ever promoting DogHouse opinions, but you should never ask ChatGPT for medical advice, legal advice, or to be your therapist.
I personally agree with that statement. Yes. Yeah. Please don't do that.
Those are my personal opinions.
Do you guys know what glazing is?
Is that when is that another term for just like bigging someone up or like, oh yeah, you can do it. You're the best.
Yes.
You're the, like just ego building.
Is it gaslighting?
No, glazing.
So like ego building.
Yeah, that would technically be
Is that gaslighting? Okay.
Would it?
Yeah.
I thought gaslighting is like making somebody believe
Like,
something.
no, that's not really what's happening. This is,
Yeah.
you don't really feel that way. You feel this way instead. Whereas glazing is like,
is
hey, you got the answer wrong. That's okay. Don't worry. You're really smart. The
Yeah.
test question must be wrong.
That feels like gaslighting.
It
to
could
me.
be. I think they're not mutually exclusive. I think it's like a Euler diagram. There's,
well, like
two conjoined circles.
I'm an expert. Okay, so I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. You are our
It can be both.
lingo expert.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can be doing both with, now that I hear you guys say it out loud, gaslighting and glazing. But
Oh, sorry. Continue.
yeah, when you're glazing, you're just, it doesn't even have to be bringing up somebody who's having a negative experience. It could just be overly passionate about somebody who you think is really amazing. Like, oh my goodness, this is the best player of all time. He's better than everyone else. I've never seen anyone like him. And now ChatGPT is getting criticized for glazing the user no matter what they say, basically. So like if they say 2 + 2 = 5, they'll be like, oh, that was a great try, but listen, you're the smart one here. I'm just an AI, but I think it's 4 or something along those lines. They'll basically try to pick up the user's ego before they correct them.
Okay, so for those of you that are probably like me and you do not know Gen Z slang anymore.
To be clear, I don't know, but I did look up that term when I saw it and I was like, what is this?
Yeah. I am not familiar with the lingo anymore, but Merriam-Webster, the dictionary website, says that to glaze someone is to shower them with excessive praise. So almost like kissing butt is pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Gaslighting is where you make someone question themselves. Both are really bad.
ChatGPT will do both.
ChatGPT will do both. So for everybody out there, do not be Kim Kardashian. Do not use ChatGPT for legal advice. Please, please, please go see an actual bar certified lawyer if you need any help. Or if you are in law school studying to be a lawyer, please don't use it.
However, if you are as rich as her, 1X has launched their new Neo robots, household companions that will help you do chores around the house. Right now, they're in pre-order phase. They've just announced a little advertisement for them, and the advertisement looks pretty good. If you look at it on face value, it looks pretty nice. He opens the door, he puts away dishes, he cleans up your clothes, folds them, and for $20,000, that sounds like a pretty good deal if you're a rich person. You don't feel like doing chores.
You look scary.
For $20,000 at a low price of $500 a month,
Yes.
you could rent it out.
He looks scary, but if you would like it, this robot stands at 5'6", will weigh 66 pounds, and comes in 3 colors: tan, gray, and dark brown.
Nice. He charges himself too.
It also has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and 5G capabilities, which paired with the built-in speakers will enable users to utilize it as a very weird sound system.
So here's an image. You go over to your parents' house or your friend's house or whoever for Thanksgiving, and a robot comes out, sets everything out, the dinnerware, the food.
While playing classical music.
Well, I was thinking it's silent at this point because everyone's just chatting. And then the robot goes and stands in the corner of the room and just starts blasting tunes in your direction. Nothing sets.
Is its face the speaker? I just realized.
I'm imagining it as doing all of that, then going and sitting on the counter.
like a kitchen appliance or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just sit on the island and just turn up the volume with some, holiday music. It does. So here's a question. A couple years from now, y'all are younger than I am, but especially for like my grandmother or my mother or my wife's parents in 5-10 years, would you consider something like this, assuming it works well?
Assuming it works
as a part-time caretaker.
Mm-hmm. I would say, why not? I don't see any problems with it at all. If there's no one around to help at the moment, there's no negative aspect of having one of these around. I don't think the AI will take over and harm anybody or anything like that, but as long as that doesn't happen, it's good.
Well, on that note of something taking over, if the robot cannot complete a task, they do have a manual override system where you can set up a time when someone can remote into it and manually operate it to do something more complex than it knows how to do. And Abby, you're shaking your head no now, knowing that.
And
I would not trust something that has. I think it would be more of like, who has access to that back door? Mm-hmm. And is it something that someone with a malicious intent can access?
Could possibly.
If it's like a closed loop back door, I don't. Again, for those listening, I don't know much about computers and the software and backdoor stuff, but like if there was a way that it could be limited to, say, the people in the household.
Yeah, no, this would be a remote operator from 1X. Mm-hmm. So let's say you need to do something real complex that it doesn't have the programmer or the AI image recognition to do.
It would be like a customer service
You
type
would set up a call with customer service and they would say, hey, at 10 a.m. we're going to remote in and we're going to have it do this thing. That training video input data will then go back to them to help train the model on how to recognize and do that task.
Okay. I feel a little bit better.
Okay.
But I still also do worry that there is a chance for
anything internet or Bluetooth or network connected. There's always going to be a possibility, no matter what, that someone at some point can hack into that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And currently, as the robot stands, it's really a promise. It actually can't do all the things shown in the commercial purely off the AI that it currently is capable of doing. Most of the action, I think they said 90% of what it was doing in the commercial was actually done by a human operator. So be careful. Pre-ordering this thing, there's no guarantee that the AI will reach the point where they can do all the things in the commercial.
Yeah, at this point, you're paying to enter an alpha or beta test program.
Absolutely.
Especially as it hits, more and more people's homes or places of business, and they can't account for how everyone has everything laid out. And the layout might change, week to week or season to season as you set up and change your furniture around. Yep.
Yeah. So let's just hope that the rich people can test these things out for us so that maybe in a couple of years when the AI actually gets good, we can get them for cheaper.
I was reading more. The Wall Street Journal did a demonstration with 1X. It took 2 minutes to fold a shirt, because it doesn't have the dexterity or the independence to do it. But it can fold laundry and tidy up, but it struggled to balance while trying to close a dishwasher.
Yes, I've seen that. He has to squat. He doesn't lean over. He just squats down and struggles to pick it up.
I think also the last line of this paragraph says that it has 4 hours of battery life.
Yes. Thankfully, it charges itself. It puts itself on the charger. So
I feel like it could be probably really good, like housekeeper. But in terms of like a medical, a home health care worker, I believe that it probably would not be until they maybe expand the battery life and build up that the knowledge it has.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even think of using it like that.
I was thinking just like bring in the groceries, put stuff away. But even going even further than that to the medical side. Yeah.
It'll, in the future, if it gets really good, that would be a great use for it.
Yeah.
For some people who need that type of care.
Looking a little further back in history to Microsoft's unveiling of Windows 98, the article we have linked actually goes through the process Microsoft went to ensure that, backing up a little bit, as Bill Gates was demoing Microsoft Windows 98 on stage to a live audience, he experienced a bug and Windows blue screened live. The anger and embarrassment of that moment led Microsoft to create a room built into the Microsoft production studio on their Redmond campus where they could set up and pre-test everything that they were going to be live demoing in a broadcast style environment, so they could be sure that the next time they demoed something live, they would not experience a blue screen of death.
How much do you want to bet someone got real chewed out by Bill Gates?
I think there were some choice words shared after that.
Oh, I bet there were.
Maybe some loss of employment.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Maybe a handshake and a "we wish you the best" might have followed that.
Great. I don't know how to feel about this one. I saw the article. I think it's fascinating, but I also think it's a little gross. YouTuber Chris Dole, please pardon me, Chris, if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, has made a YouTube video saying that he's going to take 500 disposable vapes to power his PC, his home, and his workshop completely off the grid.
Huh.
For those of you that might not know, there are some vapes. I have done a little bit of research on this one. There are vapes that are rechargeable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so vape e-cigarettes. Yeah.
So he salvaged 500 of them, and
I think his goal is to create sort of what Tesla would call a power wall, something to power his whole home. And he actually had a pretty cool and innovative way to test to see which ones had dead batteries or which ones had working batteries. He used the air pump from a CPAP machine to blow into the vape or the e-cigarette to see if it could still register a charge on the battery.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting his time dismantling units that already had failed batteries.
yeah.
Or wasting his time taking a puff himself.
Yeah, that would not be sanitary or okay.
I feel like you'd have to like dip it in bleach and hope for the best.
Right. Yeah, even then, I don't think I would.
Even then,
Props to him for trying to reuse what would effectively have been e-waste.
yeah, go him for
Yeah, that's great.
recycling and all that stuff.
I might, do the same thing and get a charger for my car. Since it's a Powerwall, I don't need to buy the Tesla brand. I just need 500 disposable vapes.
Yeah, you might need a little more than 500 for your
You
car, but
really might need more than 500.
yeah.
You can power a whole house.
I believe he lives in the UK.
His house is smaller than my car. Yeah, that makes UK people.
Well, he'd also have to deal with 230, 240 volt. I don't know, power.
I see at the end of the video, it looks like he's powering on the lights to his workshop and several home appliances. So
Yeah, that's very cool.
So if you're interested, go check out his YouTube video.
One Lord of the Rings online player wanted to accurately display the movie within the game by recreating in 10 hours the journey that they took in the original movie. He set sail for a long time of walking.
Yeah, apparently it took 5 months and quote unquote meticulous planning to put together a lore accurate recreation of Frodo's epic quest to destroy the One Ring in a 10-hour YouTube video.
Now, I wonder, is he just going alongside the path, or is he trying to recreate every bit of the movie, including the challenges they faced along the way?
They're following the books
Oh.
as closely as they can, not the movies.
Okay. So they're going straight into Tolkien's imagination.
They're going straight into Tolkien's brain,
There you go. Okay. No wonder it took 10 hours.
which is actually like really impressive if you like truly think about it. I actually think it might be more than 10 hours. Like they have to have more than 10 hours of footage, but they managed to
okay.
get it down to 10 hours.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely probably have more.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video, but I
also have not
Yeah.
set aside 10 hours to watch the video.
I don't think I can set off 10 hours, but I am curious if there's like cuts or if it is just straight gameplay. So if they like did not stop.
I want you to go look at the video down here. It's linked in, and it cut to any random moment, and you'll just see them walking.
It's a recreation of the walk from one place to another.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the common jokes with Lord of the Rings fans is that they're just doing tons of walking and throughout the story. So
There is a lot of walking. Yeah, you're right. I'm jumping around, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in, and we're
We're
slowly legging it.
We're still going.
Yeah, that's a lot of dedication.
Oh, and he does have up in the corner what book and what chapter.
Wow. So you can track the entire journey.
So you can watch the journey through the book.
That is amazing. And
That is
it's actually
awesome.
quite impressive to even have a game where there's so much area where you can span that and walk for 10 hours.
Yeah, and he's even got passages from the text there on screen as well. So you can follow along with the text.
Yeah.
At some points. Yeah.
I guess the books would be the most accurate because in the movies, you kind of hop around.
Yeah.
So you don't see the path as clear as you probably would in the books.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't make a 10-hour movie of mostly walking.
Of just the walking scenes. Yeah.
It's like 12 hours, though. Like the whole
It is
trilogy is
an epic.
12 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is quite impressive.
I wonder how much walking there is in there.
Probably a lot. They probably racked up maybe triple-digit miles.
Yeah. Yeah. They probably did a lot of walking from place to place. Well, World of Warcraft news. The World of Warcraft director says it's not going to get easier in the midnight release, the upcoming expansion Midnight, not release at midnight. And there's no reason for us to hide anything about this. So speculation arose because the game is reportedly going to be coming to consoles, and longtime fans worried that with the move to being available on consoles, it may be sort of tweaked to be easier to play with a controller, which has limited input compared to a keyboard and mouse set. And the director said, nope, no need to worry about that. We're making tweaks to make it more approachable, but we're not making an easier game to play. So fans can rest easy that their game will be as difficult as they expect it to be, which is good, especially in an MMO where you don't necessarily have control over the difficulty setting like you would with a single player game that asks you at the beginning, do you want a story driven or do you want an action driven or a combat driven experience? Good news all around. Arc Raiders released last week, and it is a blast. I played a couple hours of it. I'm officially past the point of being able to request a refund, so that's good news for the Arc Raiders team. I won't be refunding it.
That's really good.
It is fun enough to keep even playing solo, but you can play with a group of up to 3 people. And the game is an extraction shooter like Tarkov. And Abby, you're looking at me confused. I also had no idea until people told me what Tarkov was, what an extraction shooter is.
Yeah,
So-
I also don't know what an extraction shooter is.
So the way that it is a paid game, so it's not free to play first and foremost, because a lot of games will come out free to play and then make up additional funds in microtransactions
Right.
for like pay to win
Right.
items. All of the purchasable items in this game are cosmetic, which is pretty nice and refreshing, at least as far as I can tell in my low level in the game. But the way the gameplay loop works is you load into the map and you have to either loot materials or weapons or fight other players, or there are robots called Arc flying around or, spider legging their way around the map trying to kill you.
Oh, okay.
Other players, though, you don't have to fight other players. It's totally up to them if they want to interact with you, leave you alone, or try and take your gear from you. And then once you've done all you need to, you go to a specific spot or a couple around the map and you extract, which means you hit I want to go back home, essentially, and it removes you from the game and you get to keep whatever you collected with you.
Oh, okay.
The flip side of that is if you die by any means before you get to that point, everything you had on you is forfeited. Mm-hmm. So if you load in, if you are building up your weapons and you get really good weapons and armor, you load in and you die in the game, you lose all of that gear.
Ouchie.
Yeah. So it's a little stressful, especially to play solo. My first couple rounds, the first round I loaded in and I found someone and they had their microphone on proximity chat and they were saying, don't shoot at me, I'm just questing. I'm just trying to do my quests. And I didn't have any good gear. There's no way I would have taken them on anyway. But they said, as a show of good faith, I'm going to put this item here. You can take it. And then they ran away. I'm like, oh, thanks for the free stuff.
They thought you were a demon.
They thought I was gonna come for them. Yeah, no, definitely not. In another round, I tried to take down an Arc robot and I did not succeed. So I fired at it with my little pea shooter and I ran behind a wall and it flew over the wall and just dropped a rocket on me. And that was it. That was the whole round. So yeah, no, it's
feels
fun.
mean.
It is fun. Interactions with other players are a little stressful, but I think especially if you had a good gaming group going, might take that stress away a little bit because then someone could pick you back up if you get down. So yeah, no, it gets a strong recommend from me. And we've linked an article here with another game reviewer's experience with the game and some fun interactions that they've had with other players.
I heard there's a inter-community problem going on with between play styles where people are saying a lot of people are sitting in the corner of a map near the extraction point where you leave and gather stuff and just waiting for another player who looted the whole place and shooting them and just stealing their stuff.
Yeah, that happened to me, except I hadn't looted anything. I was just trying to exit the map.
That's so mean.
Someone waited for me to call the elevator. You call an elevator for some of the extraction points. Someone waited for me to do that. And then as I was waiting for the elevator to come up, they just started shooting at me.
Oh, man, that's so
thanks.
rude.
That's so mean.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. And the other side of the players who want to kind of role play, you know, being like, hey, what are you doing okay here? Is there an arc this way? And like, oh yeah, be careful. There's something around here.
Yeah.
So there's a divide in the community between those two type of players. Of course, there's some people in between who like are either way.
Or just on to play a couple rounds.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay.
I'm on the don't be mean team.
You're going to be on the don't be mean side?
I'd be on the don't be mean side. The arc are tough enough to deal with as it is.
Yeah. On the general consensus is sometimes even those players who are sitting at the extraction point can build some experience, you know?
Yeah.
Like someone brings up to you like, hey, be careful. There's a guy sitting at the extraction point, just aiming the gun at the place, waiting for somebody. You know, even that can be its own little story.
Right. Well, there's another new game out. I think, Robert, Abby, I think you have seen clips of this game. It's interesting because it's kind of game TV show hybrid from what I understand.
The funny thing is, I didn't actually think it was a video game. So the game is Dispatch.
Yep.
And its art style is very much an animated TV series that you would I was like, oh, I should go check out this show, only to find out that it's not actually a show. It is a choice and consequence, like choose your own adventure type game. So I was a little sad. But
hey, it's still good and fun to watch, actually. I haven't bought the game personally, but I watch a lot of people play it. And even still watching it as a show, it comes out weekly episodes. They release 2 episodes weekly. And just watching it as a show is still entertaining to me.
where can you find it? Is it on Steam?
Yes, it's on Steam.
So you buy it through Steam and then it's just like a show that you can watch?
Oh,
and
no. When Robert says episodes, they're releasing episodes of gameplay.
Yes.
Oh,
So you play
okay.
through that episode.
See, I know nothing.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah, I saw, because I think I asked you about it, and you were like, oh, that's Dispatch. I said, what do you mean? I thought it was an animated TV show. I thought it was like Invincible or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Telltale-like choice game, and it even has its own unique gameplay system. I used to think that, man, they really should have just released it as a show, but as the episodes go on, the gameplay is starting to get more intriguing. Right. I'm like, okay, I can see where they were going with the gameplay here and how it connects with the story. I think they made it mix really well. Yeah. Where originally I just thought this should have just been a show. Now I'm like, this is actually really good as a show and game.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone releases on YouTube once it's done, like a super cut.
Absolutely.
Of like, I imagine there's different like paths you can take in the story.
Yes.
So like the super cut of like path A, path B. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
The main choices I've seen that really change the story is the romantic choices. So far, it's between 2 characters in the story: a girl whose power is turning invisible, formerly a villain, and a girl who's basically Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And her power is turning blonde.
And your character, and I'm looking at the Steam page for it, and they say that you are a former hero who turns a superhero dispatcher.
Yes,
So that's your character.
Yes, you're formerly a superhero without powers, with a suit. And once that suit gets taken away from you, you're a dispatcher who helps former villains now become heroes and dispatch them to different places in need.
People love this game, apparently. It's sold more than 1 million copies in just 10 days.
For the reviews are very positive. 94% of people recommend the game.
That's great. Yeah.
They have some pretty good voice actors in there. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
In other gameplay news, or game news, excuse me, Epic has a new set of games of the week.
They do. I actually picked this one up as I was putting these down. Felix the Reaper is a challenging and strict 3D puzzle game about bringing humans into deadly situations. You are Felix, the ever-dancing bringer of death, who just so happens to be dangerously in love with life. I actually really hope that I have time because the video for this one looks super interesting. I'm really into puzzle games to kind of work my brain a little bit. So
When they say he's dangerously in love with life, is that another personification of something?
it is capitalized as if it were a name. So I do believe that it is a personification. So
Okay. That's pretty cool.
I'll have to let y'all know.
Yeah.
The other one is the Dungeons and Dragons Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm, a strategy management game uniting characters from throughout the D&D multiverse into a grand adventure. Both are free until next Thursday at 10 a.m. your time.
Well, as our Pack Talk segment this week, we had a listener write in and basically asked us to sell them on a system. They said, hey, I'm interested in a system and I need to know, what should I pick? So this week, we're going to break it down and go over our different CPU options. So if you've looked at our site recently, you'll notice that we have our Armor AMD systems and our Armor Intel systems. On the AMD side, we have a choice between an X3D or a Ryzen 7 X3D or a Ryzen 9 CPU. And that may mean nothing to you, but that's okay. That's why we're here. On the Intel side, we have Core Ultra 5, 7, and 9 CPUs. We'll link a great article from Gamers Nexus comparing multiple generations of CPUs if you really want to get into the numbers. But to boil it all down for you, the best budget option is going to be that Core Ultra 5. If you are just gaming, that's the CPU we'd go with. If you're gaming on a budget, go with the Ultra 5. You won't have any issues. If you want the absolute top tier performance in games, high-end CPU and Ryzen 7 X3D are going to be your best bet. That chip specifically has much more cache than a normal chip would have, and that increased cache will allow it to feed information and frame data to the GPU faster than a system that doesn't have as much cache on the CPU. If you want a do-everything machine, your two options are going to be the Core Ultra 9 and the Ryzen 9. The difference in these two CPUs is the Ryzen 9 is a 16-core CPU with 32 threads. The Intel Core Ultra 9 is a 24-core CPU with 24 threads. Now, one has much more cores than the other, but Intel and AMD have different ways that they go about approaching core counts and the number of threads that they present to the operating system. So all of AMD's processing cores are what Intel would qualify as performance cores, so has 16 of them. The Intel chip has 8 performance cores and 16 efficiency cores, which are physically smaller cores that run a little slower than the performance cores. All of that, again, might mean nothing to you. I can see Robert and Abby's faces just, blank stare, but it really comes down to your workload when you're deciding between the AMD top end and the Intel top end. Workloads that favor multiple cores, like CPU rendering for 3D animation or graphics processing done on the CPU in Blender, or video editing, photo editing, running multiple tasks at once, that's going to be where you'll want to lean towards the Intel Ultra 9 for the higher core count. Things that require higher frequency or more high performance threads, like gaming or running animation software where you're running on the GPU instead, is going to favor that Ryzen 9. So clear as mud. But if you want to game on a budget, go with the Ultra 5. If you want the absolute best gaming performance, the Ryzen 7 X3D chip. And if you're doing professional workloads or running multiple workloads, you really need to look into if it requires higher frequency or more cores to decide between that Ryzen or the Intel 9 series. So, yeah. And if you have a question, just write in.
You can email us at podcast@doghousesystems.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 972-810-4347. Or you can reach out to us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads, and TikTok at Doghouse Systems.
Thank you both for joining me on this podcast. I wish both of you and our listeners at home or on the road a great week and great weekend.
All right, you're glazing, buddy.
Take care.
Toodaloo.